It looked like something straight out of an apocalypse movie. The sky erupted with non-stop lightning. Streets disappeared beneath torrents of water and thick layers of hail. Cars became trapped. Trees were ripped from the ground. And emergency officials declared a state of emergency after one of the most destructive storms to hit Idaho in years. But the biggest surprise came after the storm had already passed. Meteorologists are now warning that the danger isn't over. Flash flooding remains a threat, and hundreds of lightning strikes may have sparked new wildfires across the state. So what exactly happened? And how did parts of Idaho suddenly turn into rivers of ice and floodwater? Here's the full story. Over the past several hours, the US state of Idaho experienced one of its most intense thunderstorm outbreaks of the season. A powerful storm system swept across southwestern Idaho, slamming cities including Meridian, Boise, Nampa, and Caldwell, leaving behind scenes that local officials described as extraordinary. The storm developed rapidly on Friday evening. Within minutes, heavy rain poured down, while powerful wind gusts reached more than 50 miles per hour. But the most remarkable feature wasn't the wind, it was the hail. Although the hailstones themselves were relatively small, they fell with incredible intensity. In just a matter of minutes, massive amounts of hail blanketed roads, neighborhoods, rooftops, and parking lots. The landscape suddenly looked like the middle of winter, despite it being late June. Videos shared by residents showed vehicles driving through thick, white layers of hail, leaving many people convinced they were looking at snow in the middle of summer. However, the real disaster began after the storm moved away. As temperatures rose slightly, the enormous amount of accumulated hail began melting almost immediately. Combined with the ongoing heavy rainfall, the melting ice overwhelmed the storm drains and drainage systems that simply couldn't handle the volume of water. Within a short time, flash flooding spread across several communities. Major roads disappeared underwater. Underpasses filled with floodwater and low-lying neighborhoods were quickly inundated. Dozens of vehicles became stranded as rising water trapped drivers, forcing emergency crews to rescue motorists, remove disabled vehicles, and close multiple roads for public safety. The damage didn't stop there. Powerful winds uprooted numerous trees and snapped massive branches, many of which crashed onto roads and power lines. Several streets became completely blocked. Traffic was disrupted for hours, and emergency crews worked throughout the night clearing debris, restoring access, and gradually bringing utility services back online. In the city of Nampa alone, officials reported pumping nearly 228,000 gallons of water off city streets after the storm, a massive drainage operation rarely seen in recent years. Meanwhile, in Piatt County, authorities temporarily closed portions of US Highway 95 after floodwaters rose to dangerous levels. Several secondary roads were also shut down after turning into fast-moving waterways that were too dangerous for vehicles. As the scale of the destruction became clear, Canyon County declared a local state of emergency, while the city of Caldwell declared a disaster emergency. Those declarations allow local governments to access additional resources, accelerate repairs, and speed up emergency response efforts. Yet flooding isn't the only concern. Weather experts say the storm produced an extraordinary amount of lightning activity. Detection systems recorded hundreds of lightning strikes within just a few hours, including more than 550 strikes in Owyhee County, along with over 150 additional strikes across Ada and Canyon counties. Those lightning strikes have now raised fears of another major threat: wildfires. Idaho is already entering an active wildfire season, and with hot, dry weather expected to return after the storm, officials worry that any lightning strike in dry grasslands, forests, or mountainous terrain could ignite new fires over the coming days. Meteorologists say this wasn't an ordinary summer thunderstorm. Instead, it resulted from a rare combination of extremely high moisture levels, unusually cold air high in the atmosphere, and strong upper-level winds. Together, these conditions created ideal ingredients for producing enormous amounts of hail in an exceptionally short period, a weather setup that's highly unusual for late June. For now, Emergency crews continue clearing roads, repairing damaged power lines, and cleaning up storm debris across the affected communities. Officials are urging residents to avoid flooded roads, stay away from fallen trees and downed power lines, and remain alert as rivers and drainage channels continue to be monitored for additional flooding. At the same time, fire officials are watching closely for any wildfires that could be sparked by the hundreds of lightning strikes left behind by the storm. In just one night, Idaho experienced one of its most destructive weather events in years. Torrential rain, massive hail, damaging winds, flash floods, and hundreds of lightning strikes all combined into a single violent storm, leaving widespread damage across the region. Now, one question remains. Is the worst finally over? Or could the next few days bring an entirely new disaster?
Yeah. Yeah. Looks like it snowed.
Imagine having to go to the hospital like in Meridian, like we have to go.
Look,
Yeah, you know.
Look at the car. The water is
Holy
up
crap.
to that high on the tires.
well, you're against the curve as well, but yeah.
But it's in the same
The water, it's at the same level as the curve.
Oh, that was a good one.
There's too many clouds.
I can't believe that fence held all that for all that time, that pressure. That's huge. I just hope my damn building don't blow through the fence.